Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Wednesday, March 22nd. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Rent protection in Nova Scotia will be in place for another 2 years. The temporary rental increase cap will be extended to December 31st, 2025. The province says it intends to set the cap at 5% per year starting January 1st, 2024. A rally was held outside Province House yesterday on the first day of the spring session to address the concerns of many residents who say rent is unaffordable. The province says extending the rent cap by 2 years will protect renters while adjusting the amount rent can increase to support landlords. The current cap of 2% per year remains in place until December 31st, 2023. The rent cap applies to residential tenants who are renewing their lease or those in a fixed-term lease who are signing another fixed-term lease for the same unit. It does not apply to new tenants signing new leases. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is recommending the inspections of commercial fishing vessels verify that written safety procedures are available to crews and that they know the procedures. The recommendation issued today is part of the investigation into the 2020 sinking of the scallop boat Chief William Solace near Digby, where one crew member died. 5 crew members are still classified as missing.
At the time of the occurrence, weather records in the course of the vessel indicated BMC conditions, which would have resulted in waves hitting the vessel broadside and breaking across the deck. The vessel's freeing ports, which allow water to drain from the main deck, were likely covered either mechanically or by the unsecured scallops, so that water from the heavy BMC accumulated on deck. The resulting free surface effect created by the rolling motion from the heavy BMC, accumulated water, and shifting scallops likely caused the vessel to capsize and sink.
The report today singles out lack of regulatory oversight and improper scallop loading on deck.
Our investigation identified several key factors that contributed to this accident. The Chief William Solace, like many other fishing vessels, did not have a formal stability assessment in place, so the crew made operating decisions that likely affected the vessel's stability without sufficient knowledge of the safe operating limits. At the time of the occurrence, the crew was sailing with an estimated load of 4,300 kilograms of scallops. About 2,700 kilograms of this load was unshucked scallops stored on deck, in unsecured piles up to 5 feet high, and in totes and baskets.
The board says commercial fishing is one of the most hazardous occupations in the country, with about 11 fish harvesters dying every year. As seen with Chief William Solace, the board says many company manuals may be incomplete if based mostly on Transport Canada templates. Dartmouth's only warming shelter will be closing in May. Men who found a place to eat and sleep at the Christchurch shelter in downtown Dartmouth will soon have to find a new place to go. The 20-bed shelter for men only opened on Dundas Street in December as somewhere to go when it was cold. The operators are now being told by the province the contract will be coming to an end on May 31st. The shelter has been full since it opened, so there is concern on where the men will go from here. While temperatures may be warming up, refuge is still very much needed. Yesterday, Dartmouth Centre Councillor Sam Austin pushed the municipality to do something, like having Mayor Mike Savage write a letter to the province to keep the shelter open all year. Some at Christchurch will be moving over to the shelter on North Park Street, which is more of a transition shelter instead of a warming shelter. Now to a happy ending in Yarmouth, where a minor hockey player claims he was done wrong by the league. A suspension was handed out for something the player never did in an incident that never happened. While there was evidence to prove it, Hockey Nova Scotia said the ruling would stand and the case was closed. Then there was a change of heart. SaltWire's Tina Camo has that story.
The Yarmouth U15 AA Mariners minor hockey team went onto the ice on March 18th. But watching from the sidelines was player Sawyer Christensen, who was serving a 3-game suspension after receiving a spearing penalty in a game they played in Antigonish. It was disappointing to the team, to Sawyer, to his family, and to others, because 2 videos from that game showed that Sawyer didn't touch or interfere with the opposing player who went down on the ice. In fact, that player, his father, and his coach told Sawyer and his Yarmouth team that the Yarmouth player didn't have anything to do with the player's injury. Instead, the player fell to the ice when his hip flexor let go while he was skating. Given all of this, the Yarmouth team thought Hockey Nova Scotia would reverse Sawyer's suspension, but when the team initially reached out, Hockey Nova Scotia said the call stands and the matter was closed. Again, that was disappointing and frustrating to everyone supporting Sawyer, who said it wasn't fair for him to be labeled guilty of not only something that he didn't do, but also for something that didn't happen. And there was proof that it didn't happen. The minor hockey team kept sticking up for their player, feeling the situation sent an unfair message that even if you don't do anything wrong, it doesn't matter. To them, that didn't seem like fair play. On March 21st came word that Hockey Nova Scotia's minor council had once again reviewed the situation. It still said it doesn't review video footage, but since the Yarmouth and Antigonish teams were on the same page about what had happened during the game, Hockey Nova Scotia's minor council removed the last 2 games from Sawyer's suspension, meaning he's back on the ice. The teenager, his team, and his supporters are glad the situation was resolved and that now Sawyer can go back to doing what he loves, playing hockey as the team makes their push for provincials. This is Tina Camo reporting for SaltWire Network in Yarmouth.
It's time now for a glimpse of today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon McLeod. Today, Sheldon is speaking with Sunil Sarwal about food inflation.
It's either greedflation or for some reason that people are of the mind that, well, there's no way that people are not taking advantage of us right now. What does Sunil say about that situation?
Canadian families are understandably angry. Everything is getting more expensive. We're seeing interest rates going up, rent, the gas, the electricity, but food is the one that really sticks out to us because we can't put off buying food for another year the way we might with a car or a new phone. We're buying it often, so it's easy to compare. When the price of something we buy regularly, like every month, jumps up a few dollars every time we go to the store, we notice it. And so we get angry about the food. And at the same time, food inflation is quite a bit higher than regular inflation. In Nova Scotia, the regular inflation rate, I think, is around 6.5%. Food inflation, like you said, though, Sheldon, is in double digits. We're around 10% right now, and it might be even higher for 2023. So people are really, really noticing that.
And for Sheldon's full conversation, head to the opinion section of saltwire.com. Time now for the Atlantic Sports Wire, presented by Scott Squires.
Here's part 2 of my chat with SaltWire's Jason Simmons as we took time to discuss the UNB Reds winning another University Cup. Yeah, it's been quite a run for the Reds and their head coach, Gardner McDougall. Maybe just a word about the Reds and Coach McDougall. As you said, 8 championships in 16 years. When you watch this team, what do you see as a hockey fan?
Well, you just see structure, you see hustle, you see compete, you see commitment. And those are all, ingredients that Gardner McDougall institutes. And the thing is with Gardner, there's not a harder working coach around at any level than him. He's all in, he's committed, his energy is contagious, and that just rubs off on the players. And I mean, I talked to different members of the organization last night, and at the end of the day, everything comes back to Gardner and the job that he does as sort of the leader of the team.
For the full Atlantic Sports Wire conversation with Jason, check out the Atlantic Sports Wire on the video tab at saltwire.com or visit the SaltWire YouTube channel. In Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.
Thank you, Scott. On to weather now. To see what's coming up in the forecast, we're going to check in now with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders.
Thanks, Kate. Well, it was cooler out here today compared to when I spoke to you yesterday, but still a beautiful day overall in HRM. Unfortunately, today is going to be nicer than tomorrow when we have some winter weather to talk about. This evening, though, it will be clear. We'll see the temperature near -2 and a chilly start tomorrow morning near -6 with mainly cloudy skies. Now, in the afternoon, it will be cloudy and we'll see periods of snow mixing with rain developing late in the afternoon into the evening, with the temperature heading up to 2 degrees. Now, in the evening on Thursday, any snow will transition over to some rain showers. Now, before that transition, perhaps 1 to 5 centimeters in Halifax, further inland where it might be a bit cooler, 5 to maybe 8 centimeters, and then this will all be followed by 10 to 20 millimeters of rain. We'll also have easterly winds on Thursday night, gusting 40 up to maybe 50 kilometers per hour. So not too strong overall, but certainly breezy. We will have stronger westerly winds behind the system on Friday. Still a lingering chance of showers and flurries on Friday, and then more snow possible on Sunday, so keep those shovels handy. Kate.
Thank you, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to saltwire.com. And you can find us on social media. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.